Well, the former presidents have chimed in on the historic peace deal yesterday. And for the most part, they went, as you would expect, outside of at least one of them. Here's the story, 8:05. Good morning. It is great to be here on KCMO. 30 minutes away from your first chance at $1,000 today here on KCMO with a text-to-win keyword. And then we've got Tirade Tuesday at 8:35. Whatever you want to rant on, that's up to you in a half hour here on KCMO. So I'll start with late last week. Former President Barack Obama had this post that he got ratioed for, as the kids call it. That means he got more replies than he got reposts, reshares, or retweets, whatever you want to call it, on social media. Obama writing here, after 2 years of unimaginable loss and suffering for Israeli families and the people of Gaza, we should all be encouraged and relieved that an end to the conflict is within sight, that those hostages still being held will be reunited with their families, and that vital aid can start reaching those inside Gaza whose lives have been shattered. More than that, though, it now falls on Israelis and Palestinians, with the support of the U.S. and the entire world community, to begin the hard task of rebuilding Gaza and to commit to a process that, by recognizing the common humanity and basic rights of both peoples, can achieve a lasting peace. Say his name! Say his name! Come on, Barack. Say his name, Barack. Jeez.
Such a cute soundbite.
This post has more salt than the Dead Sea. My goodness. Come on, man. Say Trump. Actually use and provide examples of the unity that you preach. He can't do it. Obama's not capable of doing it. For a guy who has, built himself up, and I think it's totally unwarranted, but he's built himself and his brand on being some kind of a unifier, even though he was always the great divider, especially in his second term. I mean, you look back, race relations in this country peaked in the middle of his 8 years in office. And then 2012, 2013, they get downhill real fast because he started playing the race game and he divided this country in a big way. And he led us to President Trump, by the way. Don't kid yourself. Trump became president because of Barack Obama. It's part of his legacy that does not get nearly enough attention. But this was a great opportunity for Obama to acknowledge Trump by name, despite disagreements. And you know what? He didn't do it. So I can't say that shocks me, but that was Obama 4 days ago. All right. And then we got Biden yesterday, and Biden, he was what a character. And obviously, Joe's dealing with his health issues right now. We wish him well with his health issues and challenges. But this post 13 hours ago was something else. Quote, I'm deeply grateful and relieved that this day has come for the last living 20 hostages who have been through unimaginable hell and are finally reunited with their families and loved ones, and for the civilians in Gaza who have experienced immeasurable loss and will finally get the chance to rebuild their lives. Biden writes here, the road to the deal was not easy. My administration worked relentlessly to bring the hostages home, get relief to Palestinian civilians, and end the war. I commend President Trump and his team for their work to get a renewed ceasefire deal over the finish line. Now, with the backing of the United States and the world, the Middle East is on a path to peace that I hope endures, and a future for Israelis and Palestinians alike with equal measures of peace and dignity and safety. So not bad, better than Obama, I'll say that much about Biden. Talking about how his administration worked relentlessly to bring the hostages home and get relief, I questioned some of that. And implying that basically the Trump team took the blueprint from the Biden team and got it, as he says, across the finish line. Because the insinuation there is that basically Team Trump took what Team Biden was working on and got the deal across the finish line. That's like saying Patrick Mahomes took the blueprint from Chad Henne and won a few Super Bowls. Okay? Please. That is a comical comparison to make. And there's nothing to suggest that what Team Trump did on getting the hostages home has anything to do with any foundation that was laid by Team Biden. I mean, if you think that exists, please, I'd like to hear it at 913-408-7957. I don't see any evidence of that. None whatsoever. So that was Biden yesterday. Let's go to Kamala Harris. What did Kamala Harris have to say? Kamala Harris, it's time to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Oh, no, sorry, that's a different quote from Kamala Harris. That's the quote that sits outside the studio here in a plaque. Kamala Harris, let's see, what kind of word salad do we have here? Quote, I am thankful and deeply encouraged that the ceasefire has brought long-awaited moments of joy and reunion. Joy! There it is, joy. Mm-hmm. As 20 Israeli hostages are finally reunited with their loved ones and Palestinian families and the people of Gaza begin to receive desperately needed relief from unimaginable suffering. Okay, if we're going to talk about the suffering, can we talk about the 1,200 Jews who were slaughtered on October 7th? I understand Gaza's been through a lot as well, but let's remember how we got here, okay? Anyway, Kamala goes on to say, through diplomacy and persistence, today is an important first step towards a more hopeful future. I commend leaders and partners whose efforts made this agreement possible, including the president and his team. There's still much more work to do to secure a lasting peace, ensure the safety and dignity of every innocent life, and build a future where Israelis and Palestinians can live side by side in freedom and security. Okay, that's Kamala Harris, John.
Oh, you left out past the Mogan David. Put that right there at the end.
Yes. But let's give old Slick Willie a little credit here, okay? Bill Clinton, the best statement of the bunch. Here we go. The horrors of the October 7th, 2023 attacks on Israel and the conflict they reignited have resulted in unbearable human loss. It has been hard to watch and nearly impossible to rationalize. First off, great start by old Bill there, talking about how this conflict reignited due to the Hamas terrorists and what they did on October 7th. That's something Obama, Harris, and Biden were not able to comprehend or admit. Slick Willie goes on to say here, I'm grateful that a ceasefire has taken hold, that the last 20 living hostages have been freed, and that desperately needed aid has begun to flow into Gaza. President Trump and his administration, Qatar and other regional actors deserve great credit for keeping everyone engaged until the agreement was reached.
Such a nice man.
Now Israel and Hamas, with the support of the United States, the region, and the world, must try to turn this fragile moment into lasting peace that provides for the dignity and security of both Palestinians and Israelis. I believe they can get there, but only if they do it together. That's a damn good statement from Bill Clinton. First off, he actually said Trump's name. He gave Trump the bulk of the credit from a leadership perspective, and he admitted how we got here in the first place over the last 2 years. So old Bill for the win. And the president of the United States reacted to Bill Clinton's statement yesterday on Air Force One. Here's what Donald Trump had to say.
And others liked Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with him. He used to be a friend of mine. Came to my wedding, you know. So did she. People don't know that. But no, I've always liked him. I thought it was very nice, actually. And what is he doing? He's telling the truth. Because nobody else has been able to do. Talking about the Middle East, yes.
Mr. President.
That's great. He was at my wedding. A good reporter would have said, which one?
Exactly my first thought. Then he said, so is she, and I thought you mean the Chinese president or Hillary.
Yeah. Well, the way he said she was kind of like chi.
Yeah.
He did have a little, but I think he was kind of emphasizing the Hillary thing.
Mm-hmm. And others liked Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with him. He used to be a friend of mine. Came to my wedding, you know. So did she.
Oh, that was vintage Trump right there. You know, the guy was at my wedding. I don't know what happened. Just went south after that. But that is, first off, President Trump in part admitting that, you know what? I always liked the guy. Never had a problem with him. Don't forget, Trump was a Democrat for most of his adult life and professional life. until the last 10, 15 years or so. And he's given Bill Clinton a little bit of love for his statement there as well. And not that this whole thing is about Trump, but you have to be able to admit that his leadership is what got this done. Even if you didn't vote for Trump, does anyone in their right mind believe that we're sitting here today talking about this peace deal if Kamala Harris is in the White House? Like, just please, even if he's not your guy, just admit to yourself for the next 5 seconds that you and I both know we're not sitting here having this conversation if she's in charge. Okay? It's clear as day.